for Asgard Radio. My name is Brodie Z, and I'm here with Andrea from Lacuna Coil. What's up, man?
I'm good. Almost ready for the show. So
Yeah?
yeah, the tour just started. It's been a week. We've been in North America, so
Oh, cool.
we're still getting out of the jet lag and getting in the mood of the tour. But
Yeah.
we're doing better and better every day. So
That's
shows has
good.
been really good.
That's good.
A lot of people every night and
I get all my notes
good
on my phone
reactions. Pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's very good. Your last album, Delirium, came out last year,
Yep.
and it's largely centered around mental health issues, mental illnesses. I was told it was influenced by some real life events.
Yes, some of us went through some personal issues in the family with people having to be in this kind of hospital or modern day sanatorium, let's call them.
Yeah.
And we also went to visit some of the old places, some abandoned sanatoriums around the area of Milano in Italy where we live. And we got to experience the feeling of how it was back then,
Yeah.
And, so that gave us a big inspiration, especially for the artwork and for all the visuals of the concept,
That had to have been really interesting, really even kind of creepy going into all those old places and seeing.
Yeah. It was.
how
But
things used to
we
operate.
went there even before we decided the concept for the record. We just out of curiosity to see and we took some pictures, and then everything came back pretty useful when we actually did the album. And we also went to see some pictures of real sanatorium patients of the early century.
Yeah.
And they just to understand, the vibe and the feelings. And what was most scary, it was the posturing of these people, the weird way they almost fluctuating over the beds, because of the muscle very tense and all the unnatural position they were getting, and that was very, very inspiring on how much is the reality more brutal than what you can expect from a horror movie based on this kind of topics,
So, did you come across any places that were rumored to be haunted, or?
No, mostly, there's always stories, and
Yeah.
you never know. But we
Rumored,
didn't. It was just the atmosphere that was very special. But we didn't want to over exaggerate with that aspect. We wanted to let people understand that the concept was based on a serious topic, on a very stigmatized topic like mental illnesses. So it was important that was real. We play with it obviously, and we had a little gothic horror touch to it. But
Right.
it was important that people just understand that we were talking about serious things. That people really suffer for this.
Right. And I'm glad you actually brought that up about the whole stigma behind it. We've had 2 deaths in the hard rock community this year alone, and this is very sad. Chester Bennington and Chris
Cornell, yeah.
So I was very sad to hear those guys pass, and some of my favorites. And there is a whole big stigma behind mental health issues and mental illness, and obviously this album presents a very powerful, very positive message.
Yeah.
But did you for any second think that was going to confuse or alienate some of your current fans, being more like a shallow life situation where the imagery was kind of off-putting to some people?
No, I think this time everything was way more in the right direction. Everything, the music and the impact and the artwork and the visual was all way more compact. While on Shallow Life, maybe we've been too generic, too open, so some people didn't really understood that some things were with a bit of humor, but some were just
I thought it was hilarious.
more serious. But, it happens, and it's okay. I mean, we've done it, and we learned,
Yeah.
So this time, I think everything was very focused, and people really get the message, and this album has been really well received for people, and also a lot of people is writing us on how much they're happy about the fact that we touched those topics without being afraid of it, because it's obviously something that it's delicate and very personal. Each one has his own way to face these problems. So we tell them our way, and then obviously everybody can apply or can say, okay, I did it this way, or can relate and I did it in the same way. So it's important that people get something from the record, which is not just a moment of relief. It's cool when the lyrics and the words touch them deeply, in a deeper way, and then it's very important for us to have this connection with the people, especially with these kind of topics. And now they're very popular because these big names, they also had to face these situations, But I think every day a lot of people suffer from these,
Right.
even if nobody knows because they're not in the eye of the storm, But it's important that people understand that everybody, it doesn't matter how much money you have, how much how much you could look happy from the outside. You know, these kind of topics are very delicate and very personal, and they're never easy to solve. You know, so
Right.
but there is a way, and the way is to broaden them out. You know, and to try to manage for people to get help. You know.
Right. And I, for one, am very glad you guys have touched on this. It's a very personal topic for me. And the album has had a bit of a heavier sound than your previous records. And you self-produced it this time around.
Yes, Marco, our bass player, he started the production activity, like being a producer with some local band in Milano, in Italy, where we live, and then he developed a lot of his own taste for producing, and he's been always the internal producer of the band, the guy who was speaking directly to the actual producer of the record. So he collects a lot of experience working with Don Gilmore or J. Baumgarten or Valdemar Zorita, all the producers we work with. He was always the guy who deal with them directly, and the guy who was doing all the choices for the mixing of the album. So it was time for him to try and produce his own band for the first time. So it wasn't easy for him, because obviously you have to separate the fact that you're a part of the band from the role of the producer, which has more to drive the band, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not been an easy time for him. It was a bit stressful maybe, but I think the result is pretty good. And it was, for this record especially, we really needed somebody that didn't really alterate the product. You know, it was important that it would stay the way we envision it. You know, the heaviness was coming from the songwriting, and the topics were very desperate in a way. So it was important that there was this kind of contrast and this kind of roughness in the vocals contrast, and in the way we play between the voice and the music. So it was really important to don't have many outside people coming in, you know, and tell us what to do. You know, it was more of our little baby, and we needed to do it that way because it was such an intense record for us.
That actually answers my next question. I was actually going to ask you if there were any challenges self-producing as opposed to having a producer come in from outside, but you already touched on that.
Yeah. Obviously, when you have somebody from the outside and you pay a lot of money for him to come and give his opinion, you tend to listen to what he says. You know? But we've done it many times, so we have learned a lot with working with these people, and we thought we were able to step up this time and just do it ourselves, and I think we did.
Good. Now, is that something you think you're going to do for future records, is more self-production?
Obviously, I think it's always better to analyze case by case, you know, because it depends also what kind of record you're talking, what kind of sound you want to go for. But it's been a very positive experience, so probably it could be good to repeat it again. We'll see. I mean, we're not putting anything, you know, any barrier right now. You know, we're gonna see what's coming from the songwriting, and then we decide. But it could be an option for sure.
Yeah. Now let's look to the future a little bit. January of 2018 is your 20th anniversary.
2019, yeah.
2019?
No, sorry.
No, it is 2018.
18, sorry. Yeah, you're right. 119, January 19. Sorry.
Did I misread the thing? No.
No, you're correct. Yeah, it's we're gonna celebrate that day. You know, we have a song called 119 that people we never really reveal why this number in the title, and it's always been a sort of a current question from the fans, you know, asking what does it mean, you know. So, and we never reveal it because we're going to keep that mystery. But so we decided to celebrate the 20th anniversary from the first release in January 19 in London with a special show at the Shepherd's Bush Empire. And there's going to be a lot of surprises. Obviously, a career spamming kind of set with all songs, also songs we never played before, songs played in a different version, and a lot of more surprises we're going to announce soon. So it's going to be a very special event. We're going to film it for a DVD.
Good.
And so it's going to be a fun party to celebrate after all these years. You know?
And it's going to be in London. Why London of all
London,
places?
England. London, England, because it's always been sort of our second home.
Yeah?
It's always been one of the first places to really embrace our music, and the fans are really good. And it's pretty easy to reach from all over Europe, and also if you're coming from North America, it's far, but not that far compared to other places. So we thought it was a good idea to do it there. It's kind of a symbolic city for us, you know, and we love to play there. All the shows we play in London are usually some of the best of the tour, so we decided to just do it there. Maybe in the future we're going to do something else also in Italy or maybe somewhere else to celebrate, but that one main show is going to be in London for sure.
Now on the poster that I saw, it said "never before played songs." Does that mean you're working on new material already, or is that stuff you've been?
No. It means it's stuff from the past that we never played. You know, because some of the songs, for one reason or another, they never got played. So we pick up a few ones that really the fans loved, but we never decided to play them live for some reason. So it was more referring to the past. There's not going to be any new song from the future, let's say. And if anything, we're still working on.
Now, when you have a song like that, that's that you just haven't played, that hasn't made it onto a record for whatever reason, what happens to those songs that just don't make it onto the record?
Sometimes we rework them in the next record. If we think we still listen to them and we still feel that the idea is strong, we try to bring them back and play them and maybe make them work with different lyrics, with different vocal approach. Sometimes it does work. There's one song that ended up in Dark Adrenaline that we wrote for Karma Code. So we drag it for like a long time, and then we've been able to finally make it happen 2 records later.
Good.
So it's important to keep them and listen, and if you think they're still convincing, why not?
Yeah, it's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Now, 20 years is a long time. How do you guys keep from getting burned out?
I mean, we still have passion for the music, passion to write songs, to bring ideas, to talk about topics that we are experiencing personally. So until then, we have no reason to stop. We just have the fans are still following us, and it's been a legacy has been created in all these years. So it's until we see that there's this passion for the music from the band and also from the fans. There's no reason for us to stop.
All right. So what do you guys do in between tours, in between stops?
We work a little bit on the band in the aspect that are not strictly related to the music, unless we're songwriting, obviously. But otherwise, we work more of the internal organization of the band, and then we do also spend some family times, friends hanging out, following sports, do some more, going to the movies or Comic-Cons or stuff like that. Every passion we can to cut a little bit of space for it, but it's important. The band really takes a lot of time and a lot of effort because it's not just the music, there's a lot of other things you have to do in order to keep the band alive.
Right.
That has to be done. So.
And so what's next for you guys? What's coming up?
Now we have this tour with Epica. We just started, and then after this we have a tour in Europe, headline tour in Europe. Then the 119 show in January, and probably most of next year we're gonna spend it starting the songwriting for the next album.
Cool.
And maybe do some of the summer festivals, and that's gonna be it. I think mostly that because we want to be able to release the album in 2019. So we need to work on the writing and then recording and mixing, and so it will take some time.
Now, Christina has said in past interviews that she does not like the recording process. What do you feel about that?
I like more the songwriting process. The actual recording is not so much fun. It's more you have to be done in a certain time, in a certain characteristic. So it's not as fun as writing the songs, But it's okay. It's part of the job, so it's okay.
All right, All right, well, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. Thank you very much.
It's been a blast. And you can get Lacuna Coil on tour right now. Check out their new album, Delirium. It's in stores. Go pick it up. I've been Brodie Z. This is Asgard Radio. Have a good one.